Hello, dear spiritual seeker. Today I want to cover 7 ways how to receive a no for an answer or a rejection with more acceptance and understanding. Those of us who have been struggling with low self-worth, abandonment issue, fear of rejection, not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy, loved. Every time when we receive a no, it can, well, maybe not every time, but a lot of times it can feel very tough, very painful, and especially if we have fallen for our ego's attachment to certain outcome. And if that outcome is not fulfilled the way we think it should be, then we can feel very sad. When we receive no, it can feel like a personal rejection of ourselves, that we are being personally rejected of who we are and how we are. And that can trigger in us old thinking and emotional patterns that are related to us viewing ourselves as unworthy, or there is something wrong with us. In this video, I'm here to promote a self-empowered way of living, a more grounding, more balanced way of dealing whenever we encounter a no in our life or some kind of rejection from people. This video is an encouragement, a reminder for us to get together to remember that we can address it in more calm and peaceful manner, and that can have, and receiving no doesn't necessarily have a negative or unpleasant experience for us. We can transcend that. So enjoy this video. Let's dive deep into 7 ways. Way number 1, blessing. No, in actuality, is not as black as it has been portrayed by many people. When we are able to look retrospectively back at what happened, there comes a time when we can start to see an actual value or even a benefit when we were we got the answer no in a certain context, certain situation, from certain people. And it's like a guidance. When we receive no, the universe is helping us to not go further astray than we already are, to save our time and to save our energy instead on staying with the correct course in our life, correct path. So it's a guidance system. It helps us. It guides us like a blessing. Also, sometimes we can receive no when we are not simply ready yet. So a no is a clear indication that we just need to keep going, and we need to work on preparing ourselves when the time comes, when we are ready to receive. So way number one is blessing. You might be asking how to distinguish when we receive no, and how to distinguish between when we should continue be working on ourselves until we are ready, and when we should simply drop the idea and leave it and go do something else. The short answer to that is learning how to get in touch more and more with our own intuition, what our heart is telling us in the moment. And we get better at that with practice. And it's okay if we make mistakes during the process of trying to decipher which one is intuition and which one is not. Because even if we make a mistake and it leads us in perceived trouble, we can still learn from that situation, and we can still move on, and it can help us to realign with our correct life path. So that shouldn't be a huge concern. Another thing is that life is also giving us constant feedback that is available to us, so we can always reflect on that. And one more thing that I want to add before we go to the second way is, in order for us to be able to distinguish between our inner voices, which one is intuition and which one is not, it's really helpful to decrease our background daily noise. I know that for many people, they are engaged in lots of activities during the day, and when the time comes to rest, they still keep going by consuming a lot of entertainment, still having a lot of digital or screen time, which can overstimulate our brain. And yes, sometimes it can help to chill after work or some other activity, but information overload can definitely create a huge mental clutter, and then it's more difficult for us to distinguish between which one is intuition and which one is not. So bringing down this overstimulation of our brains can definitely help with that. Way number two is renouncing control. And control can feel like a security, but it's fake feeling of security. Our ego has a strong attachment to, and it has certain settings to the things and how they need to happen in a certain way, certain manner. And if that doesn't happen, then it can turn into a tragedy, disappointment, unmet expectations, etc. Our ego is like a little dictator who wants to control and maintain this perceived fake sense of security. If I control and I get the assumed result that I want, then and only then I will feel safe. When in actuality, if we look really closer and observe our own lives, and not just our lives, but we can see this also in every people's lives, that no matter how well we can plan in our mind, life will always, and I mean always, make corrections in our plans. Always. So if life is constantly making corrections in our plans and the way how we have visualized things going, can we acknowledge that our mind does not all? And can we start to see that actually life is here to guide us, even if it at first can seem as very undesired experience, and maybe at first we stumble and experience some unpleasant things, but when we complete the process, it's actually worth it. Through no's and yeses, life is just simply giving us movement steps or boundaries in which to take action and operate, and our responsibility is to see that and follow that. Way number 3, resilience. One of the factors why some people are seemingly more successful in achieving their desired results than other people is that they are willing to risk receiving and collecting more no's than others and not stopping, but keep going. Getting one no does not automatically mean that, oh, it's over for me, I shouldn't keep doing this, or it's not meant for me. That's very disempowering, very victim mindset. While in some cases that might be true, but I'm talking about when people have started to do things that they have delayed before, and hopefully moving into a direction of their purpose. Question is, after receiving one no or couple of no's, are we committed to still keep going if we see that this thing that we have engaged is the one that we truly want to keep doing, keep getting better and having great results and serving the world through this. For many people, comfort zone is created in such a way to receive as less no's as possible and to avoid them. And in such rules or conditions, it's very limiting playground. There are limits how you can express yourself through such rules of the game. And it's quite common that it can take us to invest a lot more energy than we initially thought it would require us to. So it's okay to invest more and keep going. Question is, how much energy are you investing? Where are you investing your energy? Maybe it's scattered, diverse. Maybe you invest in distractions and procrastinations in order not to reach your own goal. Those who have achieved results that they desired before will agree that encountering rejection and receiving no's is just part of the game, part of the process. And no matter what is your social status, financial relationship status, it's just you will always get no's, and that is fine, really. And no matter what you do and how you do things, there will always be people who will simply not be on the same page with you. That's okay too. And some might even try to discourage you from taking your action, from fulfilling your vision. And some might even try to resist your steps of action. Way number 4, self-acceptance. During age of ancient tribes, rejection meant almost like a death sentence back then, because surviving alone was almost impossible, and it was very harsh conditions to survive. So people needed each other to stay in communities, tribes, groups, to hunt together, etc., to provide for themselves. But now, in this day and age, it's almost always exaggerated. And I get it. Receiving fear of rejection and receiving no can feel like gut-wrenching and very unpleasant and very intense and uncomfortable feeling in the moment. I've experienced it. I know how it feels. Very frightening, very immobilizing, and very paralyzing feeling to take action. We have to understand that we can only feel fear of rejection, potential humiliation and pain only if we also view ourselves as unworthy of receiving what we want, and to express ourselves authentically, how we really feel. So the thing is to learn to start loving yourself and accepting yourself the way you are, with all your mistakes, with all your missteps or interesting character traits and some shadow aspects that you might not be so fond of. That too. Fear of rejection can happen if we view ourselves that we don't deserve good things in our life, and we follow negative comments of other people about us, and we agree, we accept them. Then we can internally, before making a big move in our life, feel this sudden fear, an unpleasant feeling. What if we get rejected? What if they say no? What if they humiliate us? Only then we can feel that. And the key is to also learn to be vulnerable and to overcome that and risk doing that, because we don't want to die with remorse that we never tried. Would you rather try and risk and being humiliated and know that maybe they are not your my people, instead of not trying at all and for the rest of their life keep fantasizing, what if external validation and what other people think of us is very important for us, then that can be potentially a big trap, because if we start to please others, we automatically say no to ourselves, because quite often pleasing is not in alignment with what we truly want to do. By pleasing, we often play this character that we are actually not. But the other people, they see you as this played, unauthentic character. Learning self-acceptance is important for all of us, and until we do, from time to time, life can bring us situations as external mirrors in which people would reflect back to you your own unacceptance of yourself, and people might reject you, might not accept you, treat you badly, etc. And that also mirrors your own internal feeling about yourself. So it is important to work with our own patterns of low self-worth, and also learning to overcome challenging and triggering situations for us. Because if we do over time, or looking back, we would see how actually by overcoming every time when we had this unpleasant or discomforting feeling inside of us, we strengthened ourselves, we developed, we grew stronger, our character grew, and over time our respect for ourselves also grew. Because despite this uncomfortable feeling of fear of rejection or potential humiliation, whatever, we stood by ourselves, our true feelings, and we decided to express ourselves anyways. And that's how you earn respect from yourself and self-confidence. Way number 5. What energy are we emanating outwards? Is it accepting, receiving, or repelling? Are you feeling strong fear, judgment, anger, resentment, maybe grief, sadness, anxiety, not feeling good enough, perfectionism? All of these mentioned are not attractive energies, and while each of us have these in a different amount, yes, we acknowledge that and we decide to work on these things over time, but at the same time that does not mean that we have to delay all our action from making our desire true here and now, since this moment. Because if we continue to delay and wait and wait and wait until we get perfectly healed, perfectly whatever, skilled and other imagined standards in check that we have put on ourselves in order to give us permission to start fulfilling our purpose, then that day will never come, because there will always be inner insecurities. By delaying, we reinforce this insecurity that I'm not ready yet, I'm not ready, I'm not ready, I'm not enough, I'm not enough, I'm not enough. But once we start to take action, once we start to take these first steps, even if we feel scared and other feelings, huge discomfort maybe in our belly or other part of our body, and we do it anyways, this is the way how we start to also change this uncomfortable and maybe repelling and not so attractive energy of ours that we put out in the world. If we engage and we start to practice more of how we want to be in the world and what we want to do as a dream way of living, and then we get better and better with this. Imagine a person wants to start a YouTube channel, feels extreme fear of communicating, public speaking, very nervous, very insecure, very weird vibes coming out from him. He's like, nah, I'm gonna wait for a couple of years, maybe it gets better. But in order to improve, you have to practice, you have to put yourself out there through the process, experience it, and then you become more comfortable, more calm in the process, more confident that you can survive this, you can overcome this, and you become more relaxed. The anxiety lessens because it becomes more familiar of who you are. What you do becomes almost like a part of your self-identity. Changing your energy that you emanate can happen in two ways. One is inner work, and another one is taking practical action steps to the direction of the project that you want to make it real in your life. Way number 6, authenticity. When you start to express yourself more authentic or authentic enough, then when you have interaction with people, that can start to trigger and provoke certain people. Your authenticness, your authenticity can provoke people and trigger people who have denied their own true expression, their own soul calling, their own life purpose. And these people have adopted other people's values, standards, norms, ways of living that has pushed them away from their own inner essence, inner core, who they really are. These people can give you some very nasty feedback, unconstructive criticism, negative comments, because in that way they distract themselves from the fact that they don't have to see their own inner pain. This is a compensation egoic mechanism for them, that if they do this to you, then that validates the fact that they themselves haven't addressed their own uniqueness, their own authenticity. When you are authentic and others are not, it can be like a pain in an eye, which many don't want to see. People who have repressed their own true, unique, authentic expression and nature, they're involved in masquerade. They're playing a game with following rules. I'm quoting now. I will play someone who I am not. And I will also require others to do the same. And we will pretend that on external, on a surface level, everything is well. And in this way, we will receive recognition from other fake people who have not stepped in their own authentic nature. So your authenticity can trigger others. That is okay. I have experienced that in my life as well. Last and seventh way how to receive no's with more acceptance is realization that actually we are receiving quite a lot of no's in our lifetime, and we have been receiving a lot of them in our daily lives. We just simply haven't noticed it, and some of the no's we have put on a higher pedestal and given a more important meaning than other no's. That's it. But after receiving a lot of no's, you're still here. You have survived. And that has definitely strengthened your character, whether you know it or not. I hope this video was encouraging to you, and remember, you are strong and you can do it. Blessings to you.